Hello. I need to figure out why my complaint hasn't been answered yet. It's been over a month.
And your name again?
Philip?
Turner?
Mm-hmm.
Be right back.
How are y'all? Wonderful.
I liked your American one.
Oh, did you? I don't know what I was thinking when I did that.
I was thinking, that's some crazy tree. I was like, what is she talking about?
And then I looked and I went, wow. It must have been a long day.
That's what I thought too.
I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. I don't know why.
I'm glad you caught it though.
It was because there was the unit 2 thing. And I'm like, why is there a unit? And then I realized, and then
Yeah, it made absolutely no sense. So you saved me from looking like a complete. Where we're at so far with it. All right, this one was assigned to me. This is my Sergeant David King. How you doing?
How you doing?
These are the officers' videos. What we were going to ask you for, we went on YouTube, I guess, and looked at the one that you had filmed in reference to this complaint. Do you have a unedited version of that you could give us, like on a CD, or email it to me like as a attachment or something?
Yeah, I have the unedited version. That's just the short one.
Okay, because I guess the reason or why we asked for that, the way we look at it is, on YouTube it can be manipulated or it can be edited before it's posted on YouTube. And if you could provide us with like an official copy that would be like, this is the unedited version before I put it on YouTube, that was what we had want from that. Other than that, as far as case law, I printed up, I think during that, not to get off topic or whatever, but you're talking about the Glick case. You got to understand that comes out of the First Circuit or Court of Appeals. Mm-hmm. That's out of Massachusetts. We operate under the Fifth Circuit. I tried to research case law on filming the police. We don't have an issue. Obviously, you have a constitutional right to film in a public place. But just understand that with officers, it comes to, I guess if the officers are trying to say, hey, look, you need to stand over here, they're trying to do it more for your like safety versus, if you go to, I'm trying to remember the case now, there was an officer that was killed not too long ago. It's a perfect example of what can happen on a traffic stop. If you want to film us, that's fine, but you have to understand that we also have to protect ourselves. We have to try to protect the people in the car. Then you walk up, and most of your videoing, from what I could tell watching your videos, you're a good distance away, but just understand that try not to get in front of the vehicle, or put yourself in a position to where we have to now worry about if something happens in this car. Now potentially we have to protect you or try to get you back, or we can't react to the threat that now is presenting itself in the car because now you're in our line of fire, or something like that. What is that officer that was killed just recently on a traffic stop? It was perfect video. He was shot right here in the face. But anyway, he goes up, he gets the driver out. He's talking with him.
Was it a state trooper you're referring to?
No, it wasn't a state trooper. It was like a county deputy or something. Just recently. Anyway, the backseat passenger, I can't remember the case, but the backseat passenger, he goes up to get him out. And as soon as the door opens up, all you see is a gun come out and the officer gets shot right here in the face. We don't know. And like those officers, they were dealing with something like the guy's license was revoked, or he had some minor warrant or something. And it turned into like a shitstorm, for lack of better terms. And that's what we don't know as officers. We're not trying to tell you, hey, you can't videotape us. If you want to videotape us, that's fine. We don't have a problem with that. It's just that if the officers are trying to tell you, hey, maybe stand over here. I talked to Sergeant Maurer. Are you aware of him or familiar with him at all? He's one of the nicer sergeants. Little short guy.
Ooh, I think I've came around him a couple times, but he never.
Yeah, he's
really
talked to you a number of times. Anyway, he's like, hey, so we got a pretty good relationship with Philip Turner as far as I know. And I'm like, okay, well, the other shift apparently doesn't, but.
Yeah, I may have a couple of great run-ins with your officers. I mean, not every officer's got the same personality, but has their preferences when it comes to distance and being filmed.
Yeah, yeah.
But my only thing is that from where I was standing until the point where Mr. Alvarez starts flashing his light in my lens, I was to the side. Until then, that's when I moved away.
Okay.
Trying to get out of that, the way of the light. Okay. Other than that, I had no problem.
Okay. Everything am I forgetting about? I know me and him have discussed it quite a bit, because we need to not only try to explain to you kind of what our, I guess, role is as police officers when we're on a traffic stop and the unknown nature of traffic stops, but also we want to make sure our officers aren't doing something that's going to get them in trouble. Recently there was, I think, in Dallas or somewhere up there, which I'm actually real glad that it happened in Texas, because there was it was the open carry people, I believe, and there was also a group of I can't remember the name, but they kind of go by the little group. Anyway, there was apparently 20 people following this officer around filming him, and they ended up, I think, arresting 3 people for interference out of this one, and it just recently happened, which I say recent, maybe a month ago now, something like that. And I'm glad it happened in Texas, because now I'm sure that will eventually make it to the Fifth Circuit, and then we may actually get some direction, because as of right now, I Googled and researched Fifth Circuit, and they have not definitively ruled on any
just
case.
How far someone could be. If you want to film somebody, if you're in Massachusetts, the court has said on a non-traffic stop that 10 feet is allowable.
Yeah, reasonable. Yeah.
The Fifth Circuit, which is what we're in Texas, or here in Texas, they haven't made that decision or any decision, and they don't have to abide by the First Circuit's decision. They can make their own set of guidelines for officers in the Fifth Circuit.
Until the Fifth Circuit rules on it. So that's why I'm saying I'm glad this case occurred in, I think it was Dallas.
Yeah, it was Arlington.
Arlington, yeah, somewhere up there. So I'm glad it did, because now I'm confident, because it's, open carry or one of these other groups that are running around. I'm glad that it happened, because now that will probably make it all the way to the Fifth Circuit on appeal, and they will probably rule, okay, what is reasonable? And then that gives us guidance on what we can and can't do, or can and can't say, or whatever. But all I know for now is, what was it, the 2 things that they're not allowed to film under the First Amendment is traffic accidents
and crime scenes.
You can't film those?
Yeah, that's the only thing that I found, that the 2 instances that are not allowable to be filmed are traffic accidents. And that came from a case, apparently there was, I think it was a fatality traffic accident, and they had the section of the roadway blocked off or whatever. Somebody got out, and then of course the traffic is backed up like it always is. A person gets out, walks kind of around, gets up there, and is trying to film now this fatality scene. An officer, because apparently I guess it was fairly gruesome, officer walks up and says, hey, you can't film this. They said, no, yes, I can. no, you can't, because this doesn't need to be, out or whatever. And so the person walks back, continues filming, and I think he ended up arresting the person for interference. And I actually went up, and they said no, that traffic accidents is due to the nature because it can all of a sudden be on YouTube, and we haven't found a family member yet to notify, but yet there's their relative, with their half their face missing or something like that. So that's one of the cases. I want to say it occurred something similar to that. So they ruled that traffic accidents, if you're asked to not film because of the gruesomeness of it or whatever, that's reasonable. We can ask you not to do that. And then obviously crime scenes. But
Well,
anyway, other than that, I
thing
guess
about that is that it's. I mean,
because even like professional
Even
news
news
agencies,
report-
yeah,
yeah,
news
they
agencies, we
report it.
usually have what they do, but we usually have
But they're further back.
a section reserved for them. Okay, if the media shows up, this is where they need to be. We'll do our interviews over here. We'll release, they'll do the press release thing right here.
so as long
And
as
we
you're,
usually give them, okay, you can. Usually they'll catch, okay, there's a fire truck, there's a police car. They can see like the back car or the back part of the car or something, that was wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to keep them far enough back to where they actually can't zoom in and see like the deceased person laying on the road or the deceased person still inside the vehicle or something like that. So anyway, and nothing more than just it takes education on media or people that are filming, and it takes education on our part to say, okay, look, this is what's reasonable. And as of yet, the Fifth Circuit hasn't made a definitive ruling on what is reasonable. But I would say, no problem, film us. That's fine. But depending on the situation, ask or just work with officers, because we're going to start trying to educate our officers as far as if you or whoever is filming and they're not putting themselves in a position where now you are at a tactical disadvantage, because now if something happens in the car, you can't respond because they're on the other side of the car, because we're responsible for you as well because you're in our scene basically. So try to stay. I made a note on here at some point about the reactionary gap. Try to stay at a position where, like, I think most of your videos, you're trying to stay kind of to like a 90 degree, like, here's a police car, here's a police car, here's our suspect vehicle, and they usually kind of park something similar to that. You're usually kind of over here.
and they have a problem with that because I'm filming from behind them. So that's the only reason why I try to make way to the front.
And that's why we're trying to educate.
And we're
them
trying to
on-
get them to understand that this is probably about the best place for you to be, because if something happens here, they're taught to stand behind their car doors and deal with it from there,
Yeah.
and engage the people to where they're doing this. If you're over here, this is probably about the safest spot for you to be. And that takes us as like not only the IA investigators, but also like the training unit of the department to explain to them, hey, look, if you have people videotaping, make sure they try to keep them in this general area over here, not over here. Because if something happens here, they're taught to retreat to their car doors, which is going to provide them a little bit of cover from gunfire and address the threat here. But over here, that's the problem.
Understandable.
So anyway, and it's going to take some time for everybody to get on the same sheet of music and understand that. But
Don't take this the wrong way. We're trying to get them to just ignore you. Don't worry about Philip. He's over there filming. Just let him do whatever it is he needs to do. As long as you recognize him, you know that he's going to be doing this. So just ignore him. Go about your business. Don't be, stand in front of him or flashing lights or anything. Just knock it off. Just let him do his thing.
I appreciate
He's
that.
going
'cause
to do what he's going to do. You can't control him. So
yeah, that's my blog. That's like, a little part-time gig that I do. So that's,
so.
I won't say nothing to officers. They don't say nothing to me. That's just how it goes, right? So what are your findings on this? Like, because I understand that
We can't get into the findings right now, but we need to get this video from you, the unedited, and it's just whatever it is that you filmed without the case information that you put. The one that you have on YouTube has the I guess you call them I forget what little flyers or your opinion as to what's going on during this. You mentioned something about the 10-foot rule and stuff, and I just need the unedited video because we have to present this. We write everything up and we present it to the chief of police, and he makes this decision about what to do. So the only thing that we do in internal affairs
is like gather the evidence or gather
command
the
staff, the
information.
assistant chief, the commanders, the chief of police, make the determination of what discipline or non-discipline. It's their choice. We just gather the facts.
Okay.
Do you want me to get you a CD or a DVD recordable so you can put this on, or do you want just to email it to Investigator Brand? I think the issue with emailing it may be that you may not have a file server
Like a
that's big enough.
Dropbox. It's the thing about it is the data on the video is too large for the email to hold.
See, that's why I'll just get you a DVD,
A blank DVD.
recordable, and you can return it.
And I'm guessing those are the videos of
These,
the.
yeah, this is Gowers, Alvarez, and Guthrie.
Okay. Yeah, I put a public records request for that Gower video, and they told me that that's seeking an attorney general's opinion. So,
Well-
not sure why, but
And the way I understand open record request is if it's under investigation, which is because it was an arrest, until it's disposed of in court, this is considered evidence.
Gotcha.
So it can't be released. And then also, while it's being, I guess, internally reviewed with us, it can't be released.
Understand.
That's how I understand it.
Okay.
But I'm not an open records request like guru or anything. But anyhow, that's what I know as of right now. So I'm glad you came in, actually, because I was like, man, I need to call this guy. And speaking of call, is this the best phone number, the 296-4539?
yes.
You want one or two?
One's good. I don't think it's gonna. Yeah.
That work for you?
Yeah, that's good. All right. I got a slot so it doesn't scratch up. One of those little
Here,
things right
you
there.
can just have this one.
All right.
I'll grab another one while I go back. Let me go. Hey, King, go grab. Let me go grab a business card real quick so you have contact.
So we're good, or
Yeah.
I think there was another one of your officers that are actually pretty nice. He drives the truck around.
Oh, McCann.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Investigator McCann.
Here's my information. And we're also running Cap Cog's Regional Academy, which is why you had to wait a little bit because Investigator Brandt's teaching today. So
Okay.
sorry about the delay.
Oh man, no problem.
So, and that's kind of been.
You got a video of them too, or cadets that are jogging.
Oh yeah, that's what there was. I thought that was like training or something.
No,
like that.
we're hosting the Regional Academy here at the police department, so we got a whole room full of, I think we're down to 20 cadets now. But,
So it's like
yeah.
a cut that you have to make.
well, I mean, this is where they learn
Not for PT.
case law. Actually, that's what they're studying right now, is what I'm teaching is case law.
Oh, nice.
So they learn case law, penal code, traffic code, arrest, search, and seizure, health and safety code. They learn all the laws, and it's actually fairly difficult. We've lost 3 now to academic failures, but it's expected, and it's just what happens. So they have to maintain a 75 average, and they're tested on every subject. And they're tested, they have to maintain a 75 average, and they can only fail with 3 or something like that, and pass the makeup. So I mean, and then we do PT if the class allows it, basically, which means like when they're doing penal code, that's a fairly difficult class to get in 4 days or 5 days or whatever, so we don't have time for PT. But like today at 3 o'clock, you'll see them, they'll be running. So, that's just what it is. But yeah, we're hosting it and it lasts till February, so
Okay.
that's why I'm a little behind on some of the stuff that I got. Like my real job, is
no
doing
problem.
this, but. So yeah, we'll get it all compiled. But if you'll give me that video, and that's about the last thing I need from you, and then I'll type it up and send it upstairs. But that's about it. And then as far as I guess kind of my plan, or what I've been discussing with him as far as like educating our officers, we're just gonna pull them in maybe like a shift briefings or whatever when they start their tour of duty for that night. We'll say, hey, look, we'll come in and talk for 15 minutes. Hey, look, this is what case law says. This is what, we've all seen the videos. We know what he's trying to do. So this is, if you can get him to stand over here, we've already explained to him that this is the best place to be, 90 degrees to our situation, that's fine. If you get to a certain situation, I guess, with an officer and he's telling you to back up for some reason, I understand you want to question him or push the issue with him, but if you can tell they're dealing with something and they're asking you to step back, they may be asking you to step back because there is potentially a safety issue. So step back if you can tell that it's quieting down, or in the best of your opinion, then you can ease up or maybe ask a question. Is it safe to be over here or something like that?
Right.
Just work with them, because we're going to try to explain to them that they need to work with you and be reasonable as well.
Right.
So
I appreciate that.
if we can all kind of get along, that'd be the best thing. So I don't have to do so many of these. And
Yeah.
all right, man.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, Hill.
All right, that way.